Welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Radio Show. The show is about conversations that matter, and I'm always excited to invite people to come and share their heart stories with us for the intention of uplifting and transforming people, whether personally or professionally. And I have another great individual with us today. She is a fashion stylist, personal shopper, and image consultant. Please welcome Maidene Besson to the show. How are you doing today, Maidene?
I'm doing very well, Nikki. How are you?
I am blessed. Thank you so much. Awesome. So I guess we will get right to it. Maidene, tell us a little bit about yourself leading up to what you're doing today.
So my background leading up today has not been a straight path. My educational background is actually in business. I studied at Ryerson in Toronto from 1990 to 1994, where I received a Bachelor of Commerce. I've worked with 2 organizations since I graduated, so I don't think that's a norm to spend that much time at one place these days, but I've been at the Independent Order of Foresters, which is a financial organization, landed a role in marketing right out of Ryerson. My second organization that I worked for was TJX Canada. You might know them as Winners, Marshall's HomeSense, probably one of the most successful retailers in Canada and North America. And my last role with them was also in marketing. So that is my role up to in terms of my corporate roles. So amidst my full-time role at TJX, I started styling head to toe in March of 2013. I had amazing support from my friends and family, all whom I had been assisting with advice, wardrobe styling, prior to formalizing my company. So did that with friends and family, even work friends. My vision at that time in 2013 for styling head to toe was more of becoming a stylist, but what actually happened was it turned into more of a retail venture. So I was doing pop-ups, selling clothing. I worked with the Toronto Vintage Clothing Show and Leslieville Flea for private pop-ups, that kind of thing. And that was not my intention. That wasn't what I envisioned for myself. But that's how it took off. So in 2016, I struggled a little bit with balancing my work life, my children. I have 2 kids. My daughter is going to be 20 in August. My son is actually turning 13 this month. So I had a little bit of struggle with balancing that life plus my work life and my business. So I actually closed down my website that I had built in 2014 for styling head to toe. I deleted my entire Instagram page. I closed down my Facebook. So that kind of takes you through the path of how I transitioned. So I was still working with TJX all this time and just decided that I wanted to concentrate on my marketing with them. And, so that was my path up until now. Fast forward, so that was 2016. We are now 2020, and I decided that, I don't know if it was through fear of taking the chance because I am a single mom. I now have a partner, so that's why I said was. But I don't know if it was fear of stepping out and, I have a mortgage to pay. I'm a single mom, which is why I may have decided, I feel like sometimes we use excuses. So I may have used my children as an excuse not being there when you're doing pop-ups and stuff. It takes a lot of time away from you on the weekend. So I just decided that I needed to hone in on my passion, realize what promises God has for me and the talent that He has given me, and just dive into it. So I am back on my path. of pursuing my passion and the purpose that God has for me. So that's where I am right now.
Excellent. I'm happy to hear that. And sometimes it does take a few tries and a few kind of epiphanies for people to understand the trajectory of their journey. But it happens when it's supposed to happen, and I always believe in, the right timing. And
right.
I'm happy to hear that you're on a wonderful path. So tell us about, the intention of you working with women and styling them, and that I know that you have a very specific kind of channel of helping women who may be going through their own challenges. How are you giving back?
So the work that I'm focusing on is, like you said, primarily styling women and girls. I want to be able to empower women and girls. I found that in my previous work with styling head to toe back in 2013, 2014, I found great joy and purpose when I gave back. So if it was something as simple as, putting together a prom dress drive or doing a spa day pop-up, I found great satisfaction in that. I see myself now in a more of a mentoring role. I know there's a great need for women and girls in the challenges that we often face with looking at our bodies, the expectations that we have, comparing our bodies to others. So I know that that's a very real stigma that's out there, that's perpetuated in our society, and I just want to help women navigate through that. I want to help women embrace themselves and empower them to pursue whatever it is. So if it's a young lady that is on social media, just helping her navigate to make sure that whatever image she's portraying is the image that she wants people to see, and what that impact and what the message is saying, and the longevity of what, when you're on social media, that stuff stays out there for a long time. And even in speaking with grown women, it's not only young ladies that have issues with body image. A lot of us mature women, we do as well. Like 79% of young girls have it, but 85% of grown women also have it. Like we sometimes opt out of important life events because we feel we don't look good enough. So I think sometimes looking a certain way can help you feel good about yourself. So that's where I want to try and mesh how you look and how you feel. Now, I know that a lot needs to be done on the inside, but so I hope to help women navigate through those kinds of challenges.
Excellent. And it's so true. A lot of people, I would say men included, been talking to some men and hearing a lot of men who have their own kind of body image issues, and they're not feeling comfortable in their own skin as women and younger women feel. So I'm glad that you have this to help boost body esteem, self-esteem. It's really a huge issue. And then we're women, young girls, we're bombarded with images of what the ideal body type should look like, and it's
exactly,
really it's very debilitating, especially if you're just naturally not going to be looking like that certain type because of the way you're naturally built. So I completely can identify with what you're saying. So how has your life been transformed by pursuing this passion work?
Well, I'll tell you, my life is continually being transformed because I think first what's happened it's bringing me closer to God, because now I'm having to put my faith in God, especially with what's going on, and I'm trying to navigate this journey at this time with the pandemic that's going on. And what I've found is that I've really had to put my faith back in God, and the promise that I know His Word says He has for us. So it's transforming me in that way. And then looking at, I have a young lady within my own home that I'm getting a little bit emotional, but that I know looks up to me. So I want to make sure that the way I'm living my life and is going to be helpful to her to navigate her journey.
Yes.
So it's transforming me in those ways. And then depending on others. So even in being at home at this time, I'm having to depend on my family to help me with, let's say, even recording videos and things of that nature, and knowing that they see my vision, sharing my hopes and dreams and that kind of thing. So it's transforming me and getting closer to those that have been supporting me all along. And so it's a great journey, and I'm blessed to be on it. I'm hopeful, even in the times that we're in right now. I'm grateful for the time that God is giving us to seek Him more. I feel like this time is a time that we've really got to, try and get closer to Him. So I think that's the transformational work. The biggest that's happening with me right now is seeking the face of God, His Word, and getting back to that. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And during these very challenging times, as you alluded to earlier, what message of hope could you offer the listeners right now?
Message of hope. Well, my message of hope is just lean in on God. He is the ultimate creator. He is not going to bring us to a point. He's a good God. He's a merciful God. So this is not the work of God, but just remembering that God is with us through this time. He's right beside us. He is, even when we don't understand everything that's going on, and what the outcome is going to look like for any of us, our family members, just know that God is with us. And I think sometimes we, as believers, I know for myself, I was beating myself up a little bit about being fearful. But I had to come to a place where, I had to say, okay, it's okay to be a little bit scared, but just remind myself that God is still with us, and that He's going to see us through. So my message of hope is just to trust in God, trust in His Word, and be faithful and lean in on Him. And that's the message that I would give anyone.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. And Maidene, thank you so much for sharing your personal journey and what you're doing for the community. And how can people reach out to you on social media?
So I am on social media on Instagram. My page is at Styling Head to Toe, and it's styling without a G, so STYLIN, and then head, and then the number 2, and then toe. I also can be reached on by email, stylingheadtotoe@gmail.com. I actually just started a YouTube channel, Styling Head to Toe, as well. So just trying to create some content to trying to uplift, even though we're at home, trying to uplift myself, some women, anybody that needs this right now. I was challenged a little bit with the timing of this because I didn't want to be insensitive to how people are processing this pandemic. And initially I thought maybe this is not the good time to start sharing some of these things. But you know what? If I can put a smile on someone's face and just encourage them and steer them away from all the news that's happening, then I feel good about that. So some days are not so great for me. I'm typically a very transparent person. So if I'm not in a good place that day, I can't, go on and do a video because it will translate. So I'm mindful that we all, from day to day, we're managing this thing differently. So I'm being real about that for myself and for others. So, but I still want to share, and they can find me on Instagram, on YouTube, and like I said, send me an email if anyone wants to reach out.
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate your being candid and keeping it real. It's a very trying time for people. I mean, there's so many changes that are being sent to us on a daily basis. So I appreciate that there are consistent voices like yours, and it's wonderful to share that it's just being a human being as we are experiencing a wide range of emotions. It's okay to say that, I'm not having a great day today, but just if you just follow me in a couple more days, I'll have that inspiration. That's completely fine. And I appreciate that you've been able to articulate that so beautifully. So thank you very much for everything you're doing, Maidene. I wish you and your family all the best. Stay strong, stay safe, and I will connect with you at another time. God bless.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nikki. You enjoy your day. Happy Easter to you and your family, and I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Oh, you're more than welcome, and Happy Easter. Happy Easter to all the listeners. Bye for now.
Happy Easter, everyone. Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.